Hey there, I'm Derek Hart, and I work with couples. I help relationships that are hurting, on the brink of divorce, or relationships that haven't been working for a really long time. And I made a movie about it, and I want to share it with you.
I knew that something needed to change.
We were very close to getting divorced.
So we decided that we needed some help to actually fully commit to each other.
Many trigger points and delicate things.
Couples that sometimes have seen literally up to 10 therapists can spend an hour with me and resolve their relationship problems and get on the path to hope again. The right kind of work will solve your entire relationship dilemma. I've been doing it for 31 years, and I want to show you how.
We didn't know what to expect because we hadn't been in therapy in years. I remember thinking in the car that this would either end us or begin us.
So let me know if this sounds like you. You've been in a relationship for a really long time, and there's a love there, and you want it to last. And the truth is that you've felt disconnected for a really long time.
In your relationship. And one study says the additional stress is spilling over into marriages.
The divorce rate has increased 34% compared to 2019, so there is a lot.
Olivia Michael spoke with local relationship experts who say the pandemic has been a make or break for many marriages.
You'd be lying there in bed with somebody and waking up every morning and turning to them, and they're right there on the pillow next to you. And it can feel like they are just a million miles away. You might want to be more affectionate. You might miss the way they used to look at you. And there's nothing you can do to get those magical eyes looking at you the way they did in the beginning. You argue about it, or you get silent about it, or you yell at each other. You walk around all day with the feeling that I have no idea where my relationship is going. I have no idea how to share anymore with this person. And they're supposed to be my best friend. And I can't make contact with them. I send a text message and explain how my day is going, and I don't get a response for hours. So what do you do? What do you do when that's happening over and over and over? Everybody's heard of the love languages. That's nice to know, but I don't want to spend quality time with you if I hate you. And if I like touch and sex and affection, there's no way to actually make contact physically and have us touch each other like we used to if it's unsafe to talk with each other. There's only one aphrodisiac that lasts a lifetime. And you can get all the chocolate and the wine, but if you don't have emotional openness, if it's not safe for me to tell you what I'm feeling and know that you care, sex dies. If you want to know the reason why you might have a sexless marriage, a sexless relationship, that's the actual reason, and I believe that's the only reason.
What Derek does is that he holds a space for both people to be who they are, and he's really good at slowing their pace down.
I know what it feels like now, and it feels pretty different.
Privately thinking, oh my God, I gotta get out of this relationship, or oh my God, it's gonna end, or oh my God, what am I gonna do, or how do I get back, or When your brain is not in survival mode, trying to be safe and survive, and oh my God, what's gonna happen, you have so much more capacity.
If your conversations end or it feels bad and you have to go package that away somewhere inside you and store it, it always goes somewhere. And what I hate to see is when it leads to divorce, because it usually does. Every relationship is either getting better or getting worse. And if your relationship is not learning the skills of attention and focus and intimacy, it's getting worse, and you are losing your connection with each other. If you feel that your partner doesn't like you anymore, you carry that around with you all day long, and that is painful, and we need to interrupt that and change that permanently for you. I say that word very literally and very seriously, permanently. You'll still have difficulties in life, everybody does, But if you can't share them with each other, that is what creates hell on earth. We have to permanently move from not feeling safe to feeling safe. Let's break this down a little simply here. We all have our own internal struggle. We all go through trials and tribulations. When you add a relationship that is not working, all of those other line items, all of those other things in your life that are not working become 100 times harder. Think about that for a moment. Let's say you have a fear you'll never get healthier again. You'll never lose weight. That's a really big struggle for many people, right? If you also have a relationship problem on top of that, that makes that problem 100 times more difficult. You can't fake this, people. You can't go take a bunch of yoga classes and learn how to play an instrument and spend lots of time with friends and get more involved in your church or your synagogue. If you have a relationship that's not working, it affects all of those things. Period, end of story. And there's no thoughts or questions or intellect or book you can read on how to solve that for both of you to understand what to do next. And that's what I'm going to show you today, exactly what to do next. So I'm going to show you some of what I do today to show you what it's like if you know exactly what to do to interrupt the same fight you've had hundreds of times. It's really thousands of times, isn't it? You have been yearning to have your partner look into your eyes the way they did in the beginning. Remember when you first fell in love, how it was just easy? That comes back. Is it just like falling in love? I would say it's a deeper, richer experience. The intimacy is usually greater than it was even in the beginning. Because the beginning of most relationships start with patterns and things where you don't listen and hear each other, because it's not taught anywhere. But when you learn how to listen and hear each other and be there for each other again, you want to go on vacation again. You want to plan things together. So when is a couple done working with me? When they can solve their own problems.
We've gained a lot of tools to deal with our old patterns and create new patterns.
And then you have two people that can fully hold the problems together. You're not just twice as strong, you're 100 times as strong. Was the dream to grow old together and sit in your rocking chairs? Did you want to dance together or cook together or to have children? If you're fighting, that dream gets lost. I want to show you how simple the path is to making contact again. And if you two can look at each other across the room and know what's happening in the other and feel that they got your back. That is mandatory, or your relationship has an expiration date, and I want to prevent that and show you how to do it. We're going to do that today.
We were very close to separating. When we were struggling, you know, if I went on the internet for help, there really wasn't anything good out there.
We reached out for an introductory session, and it was an incredible experience.
In our session, our very first session, I think it was 30 minutes, I watched him with Mike take Mike to a place that we've been to many counselors over the 8 years we've worked. We've been to workshops with top relational experts. And I watched Derek in 30 minutes take Mike to a place that I've never seen him go. It was amazing.
I don't know if I'm shaking because of the espresso or because because I'm speaking my truth. We're here because we don't want to be in this situation anymore. And we have 2 small children.
Do you have a sense of when you started feeling disconnected? Has it been years?
I think it has. We just haven't been able to accept that.
I feel like I've been stuffing a lot for a long time. And there's a lot of hurts in there. And so I think to his credit, he's been doing really well at listening to them, but in my head, I'm like, yeah, it's 8 days in, so, congrats for 8 days.
I texted her 25 minutes before the call. I was downstairs making lunch and for her daughter and working. And I texted her at 20. I was like, hey, don't forget the call's in 20, 25 minutes. And silence, nothing was said. I didn't know she needed me. And then after my call, I felt attacked immediately after. And this builds on other issues we've been having.
Are there actual incompatibilities, or is it scary to be close?
Both.
Couples come to me and they, at least half the time, have seen between, I kid you not, 5 and 10 therapists, and it didn't help. This is different. This is not just counseling. This is not just argue in this certain way, it'll work, it'll solve your problem. That's not enough. Something else has to be given. What has to be given is me dropping into an experience where I can help you feel each other again, like you did in the beginning when you first met each other. And I'm going to show you today how to do it with couples that are going to succeed in making contact with each other right in front of you.
Actually having Derek interpret my husband for me. And I was like, that's how you're feeling? Like, it's like that's what's going on in your brain? And I was like, yeah, that's exactly it. And Rob has done the exact same thing. That's what?
Vice versa.
Look at her face right now. Yeah, the yearning in her face, stay with her face. The yearning is so filled with risk. She's risking to let you see her yearning.
And the number of times that we have reflected that to each other, we've been together for 7 years, and in half an hour to have someone come in and actually explain us to each other is a mind-blowing concept, but it's so illuminating. And it's not because we don't love each other, but because we were just missing each other.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That you hear what he's saying and you understand it, and it feels unfair that you understand what he's saying at the same time you don't feel understood. Is that your dilemma? Is that part of it?
So you don't understand what I'm trying to say? Or you don't understand the reason that I normally give you?
I feel like you don't hear what I'm saying when you're working from 5 o'clock in the morning until 6 o'clock in the morning when you sleep 1 hour at night. So your face is in your cell phone from when you wake up, and then you leave the house and you go to your patio.
Okay, let's slow it down, because this is really important. So make eye contact with each other. What happens to Jared when Cassandra's hurting? What does that mean when it's a huge amount of hurt and Jared's made plans to do phone calls and include her, but she's overwhelmed? What happens for Jared?
It almost feels like I'm not good enough to make her, like I'm literally extending an olive branch on what she's been asking for. And I feel hurt. There's some resentment there. It's like, hey, you wanted to meet my friends, here's a friend, I'm getting on a call. And then she doesn't show up to the call. I feel small, I feel not good enough, like unworthy.
Yeah, can't get it right.
Can't get it right. In turn, I lash out.
I appreciate how you've been present this week. I appreciate your thoughtfulness this week. And I am terrified that 8 days is just not representative, and that hurts. It just hurts. It hurts. where has this been? And I get scared to rebuild it. And yeah, I really don't know how to find proof that it's genuine, that it's going to be lasting.
Let's just pretend I didn't interrupt just now. This is the same fight you've had for a long time.
For years.
For years. So I want you to feel that. How that conversation, uninterrupted, would have been the same you've had. So imagine yourself back at that moment, right? And you feel her not being available for this call, right? And you start getting frustrated. Okay. So that's the moment of making contact with her or not. I want you to tell him everything you want, all your desires, all your yearnings, but you can't use any words. I just want you to tell him with your eyes how long you've been fighting for his time, how long you've been trying to get his attention, and how you go in circles talking about neighborhoods and finances and things that are really important to him and how he makes sense of it. But you can't get across to him that you want more connection time. Words aren't helping solve this. Tons of people come and work with me, and I gotta tell you something they say a lot of the time. They say, I don't have the time to work on this. It takes too much time. They say that because the conflicts they're in take hours. And actually, hours is kind of ridiculous. It's not hours. If you're not making contact with each other, it takes all your time. It rents a space in your brain that rips off your life entirely if your partner and you are disconnected. So how much time does it take to make contact with each other? About 90 seconds. Am I saying I can solve your problem in 90 seconds? Yes and no. I want to show you how to interrupt that process and how to know in 3 to 5 second increments if you are not making contact with each other. Doing this work will help you immediately in your very first conversations with each other because you've both forgotten why you chose each other in the first place. And keep eye contact with each other. You know those things, you know those things, Omar, that you're trying to figure out? Like if you really would change your lifestyle and your money and private school and all that. I've lost contact with myself for so long that if I do this vulnerable work and reconnect, I might actually be harming myself further. Your only option is to reveal to her as tenderly as you can the degree of pain and confusion. She'll stay if you tell her how bad it is inside you. She will leave eventually if you act it out.
I'm sorry that you feel that I am nicer to my friends than I am to you, and you're probably right. When I feel unworthy, I become very hard on myself internally, and I lash out internally, and I lash out at you, and I hate myself when I do it. I become very mean and borderline abusive, and I don't know what else to do besides communicate this to you.
And I'm pushing you away.
I'm pushing you away.
For her to somehow find her way through and heal this. You have to know how much it's harming your connection here, but you have to feel it and share it with each other. I'm in so much pain that I don't know if I can call anybody my life partner, and I have 20 things in my head about you that like are on this list of like, well, that doesn't work and that doesn't work, and I find all the negative things and I go in circles with this, and I'm alone in how much I suffer with that. I don't know what to do with it. It's killing me. I'm probably gonna leave every 3 to 4 months, and we're gonna both like have this cycle happen for 5 more years until one of us implodes. Yeah, what's happening for you? You're in it. How long you've been doing this? A long time. I come to life entirely when I get to help the couple. When a couple sits down with me and they are talking about their problems and they're going round and round and round and they're going in circles and they want to tell me everything and explain everything all at once, I'll just slow them down for a moment and ask that first question, like, what was this like here? I'll ask a certain kind of question. And they think their explanation of it is enough, but I have almost like an X-ray vision where I can detect their love for each other. They don't have the ability to see and feel and touch and taste and hear and smell that they still love each other.
Derek allowed us to just slow down and tap into almost our childlike selves and speak to each other and name patterns that we're running in the moment, eliciting each other's compassion and building really incredible heart connection.
It's taken us a long time to find someone we are excited to work with and to trust our relationship with, and to trust our intimacy and vulnerability with, and he holds it with so much grace and thoughtfulness. It's a gift, and I really appreciate it.
How he was able to strip everything down to the essentials in terms of what's important emotionally to create connection with nothing else getting in the way. It was an experience of safety emotionally that I had never experienced before.
What Derek really does, he really gets me, he helps me making that bridge to Karen to come out and say like, look, this is a problem for me, or I feel uncomfortable with it. That is big for me.
He'll get you results in less sessions, in less time. His goal is not to keep you for years on end. His goal is to get resolution fast by getting you into your heart.
So what's the glue? It can actually be done with just a paragraph. There's glue to feel bonded and connected. Can I take a stab at it so you don't have to feel like this is a test?
Sure.
I'm gonna take a stab at it.
Yeah.
Lee, we've been married like 30 years, and we just have done some good work lately, and I'm really, really scared that we're opening up our connection again this deeply, and I'm really scared that 8 days isn't representative of whether this is gonna work or not, and that's what I'm really, really scared about.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
By the time the couple shows up at my doorstep, at my workshop, at my lecture, at my training, by the time they show up and they've had the courage to walk through the door together, they've done 50% of the work. Because they showed up, which tells me they still love each other. If they didn't show up and they didn't sit there, and if they didn't fight, then their relationship's over. I want to connect with you right now.
I want to connect with you right now.
And I'm going to be honest.
And I'm going to be honest.
The only thing that's coming to me is words that are criticizing.
The only thing that's coming to me are words that are criticizing.
It seems like my only choice.
It seems like my only choice.
couples are really saying to each other, I wish I could find my way to telling you what's really going on with me, and I wish you could like nod your head in acceptance and love me again, because every time I share what's going on with me, it's a fight and a battle, and you don't believe me anymore.
We've been together for 30 years, and I feel like we have one fight, you know, and we get on the merry-go-round and we go round and round, and I just feel like Derek has stopped that.
Getting in touch with how I really am feeling, allowing that to have a voice, and learning how to allow it to have a voice.
And he gave extremely practical advice.
We're communicating and sharing with each other.
I can't believe the difference.
He has given me valuable insight.
He's helped me tremendously.
Game changer for us. Like, we have been so productive by actually partnering with each other.
He's the best.
It's like emotion is the messenger of love. That is why working with me is simpler. I can help a couple see instantly what they're really telling each other. And all I have to do is show them from a few different vantage points, from a few different directions, what they're really saying to each other. And they usually say to me in the first hour, are you psychic? Like, have you been, you know, watching us in our house? So why do I do this? The better question is, how could I not do this? A session ends and it's exhausting and we all feel like we connected and it's beautiful. I just kind of want another one because I get to sit with people who are in pain and fear and loneliness, and I know soon they will no longer be in pain and fear and loneliness.
For the first time in a very long time, I feel that I truly connected with my husband, and he heard me.
We're capable to do it now.
We're capable, yeah.
Or at least we know where to start.
We have the tools. We have the tools to be able to connect on a deeper level.
What can I say? I think I just found the key to save my relationship.
So let's just say I have a couple in front of me and one of them says, like, I want to care, okay? It's kind of an intellectual idea, and we know that you just said that and it's the truth, and we know you have no way to get there. We can have you do something different that you've never done before in this relationship. I'm gonna slow you down, and I'm gonna have you feel what I'm about to say, and I want you to share the following. I'm in so much pain that I actually don't feel like I have caring feelings for our relationship anymore, and I want to have that, but I don't, and it hurts inside, and I don't know how to get back there, and I don't even feel like you want to go back there with me, and I don't even know what to say or do to get us back there. I have no idea. I'm lost. I need your help. Do you want to connect with me again? So what did I just do? I put you in touch with how you're feeling about not caring. That seems mean, right? Like, you don't say that. I don't care about you. I just needed to share that with you, right? I just wanted to be authentic and honest, and my therapist told me to share with you that I no longer care about you. I'm being real. Now, I'm not just teaching people to be nice here. And once they feel safe to start sharing things with me, then I have them take little attempts to share it with each other. A moment of emotion is shared back and forth that's understood by both of them. That goes right into the fear centers, the limbic system in our brain. The safety moves to a permanent level of feeling close and good with each other. In your relationship right now, if that's not happening, if you hooked the couple's brains up to an MRI, the same centers in the brain would light up as if a rattlesnake entered the room, if they're not feeling safe with each other. It's a real study done with 500 couples on this. Then they went through different types of counseling, and it was proven on an MRI machine when they feel safe and close and open, those centers don't light up. So it's emotionally dangerous to stay disconnected from each other. We all cope in relationship when it's not feeling good by doing something. We yell, we scream, we fight, we intellectualize, we hide, we go silent. So you can expect to see couples who are coping with a lifetime of strategies they learned from childhood until now, long before they met each other, but they hurt each other continuously about their coping strategies. If my partner's silent, I'll call him emotionally unavailable, right? If my partner is critical, I'll call her like mean and nasty, right? These coping strategies are rigid and we need to make them more flexible. What's one little possibility of how to respond differently? So I know it feels maybe awful to you in the moment that I'm asking you to do something, I promise we'll have your partner do this too.
If you felt like you were from different planets, speaking different alien languages, Derek is the alien translator that will get you to understand what you're saying for the first time.
And if there is someone who could help you, it is Derek. He's very patient and gentle and sets a space that is just very special and unique.
Not taking himself too seriously and knowing that he doesn't have all the answers, but he really draws the answers and the ways forward out of Marsha and I.
And he's brave and he's courageous, and I sense what he's putting out there, and the effort and the passion and the purpose he has, because the job he's taking on is phenomenal. And so I just thank him for all of us.
I just want to say we love you.
I love you.
And I want to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Derek.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Really, he tunes into your situation. At least he did it with our situation. He understands me, understands you, and he can build that bridge.
Because he's meant so much to our marriage. How can you ever thank a person for that?
I want to say, Derek, thank you for giving the little girl in me the soft parts, the hurt parts, a voice, maybe for the first time in my life.
What I would say to Derek is thank you.
You changing our lives.
Yeah.
For the better. So happy we found you. I think the best thing we ever done, making that appointment with you.
Thank you so much for loving couples in that very special way that you do.
I think you just give me the key.
Thank you, Lord.
I will say thank you, Derek.